Okay, so very good morning to you all. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the stability analysis of finite slopes by ordinary method of slices, as well as the modified Bishop's method. So let us continue the same thing. So first, let us try to understand how to derive the equation for the factor of safety. So when you go for ordinary method of the slices, as well as when you go for the how Bishop has defined the ordinary method. So by taking into account the normal and tangential force on both sides of each slice. So for better understanding, I have taken a failure surface or the slip circle of an embankment. So this is the approximate one. So this has been divided into so many number of slices as per the philosophy of the theory of method of slices. So as you can see here, then I have taken a free body diagram of a single slice. You can take any slice among these 8. So there is no problem. Now this is the slice, the free body diagram of a slice A, so B, C and D. So A, B and C, D. So the inclined width of the length, either top or the bottom, is either AD or BC is L. So the inclined width of the slice is L. Okay. So then there are forces which are acting on both sides of the each slice, normal force as well as the tangential force, P1, T1, P2, T2. So P1, T1, P2, T2. So these are the normal and tangential force acting on both sides of the slice. While W is the weight of the slice. So suppose if you take the number of slices here, approximately 8 number of slices are there. But we have taken as an exemplary case of only one slice at the middle or wherever you consider it. So therefore, if I want to consider the entire so many number of the slices, so it should the sigma should be summation of weights of all the slices. So therefore, at the end we will sum it up. So for the time being, for better understanding and for the derivation purpose, so we are considering only a single slide. So this is the weight component where alpha is angle made by the slip surface, while there is another that is called as a beta. So beta is angle made by the slope angle. Beta is the slope angle and alpha is the angle made by the failure surface. So failure surface. So here W is acting in the vertical direction, so which will cause, so as per our previous class discussion, something called as a driving force, while this driving force is counteracted by the shear strength of the soil, so that is in the form of a TR and in the form of a NR. So NR is the normal force and TR is the shear strength or shear force. So this is shear force. Okay. Now W is the weight of the slice A, B, C, D. Now if we resolve the W in the direction of TR and NR, so they can be resolved as TA and NA. So this part also we understood. So when you have drawn the free body diagram of a small element of infinite slope, the same philosophy is valid here. Okay. Now when you come to ordinary method of the slices, so the method makes an assumption that the resultant of T1 P1 and T2 P2, so they will pass through the single line, or the line of action of the resultant of T1 P1 and P2 T2, they coincides. Now once they coincide, what is the consequence? The consequence is that they won't give any kind of the net moment on the slope stability, or they won't cause neither driving force nor the resisting force. So their contribution is absolutely zero in both the terms. So though that is the basic assumption involved in the ordinary method of the slices. Okay. So now suppose if you say the line of action of P1 T1 and P2 T2, so in the same line and they coincide, so the moment is obviously zero. So therefore we don't need to consider so the normal and tangential forces of the each slice. So that's how that which is called as the ordinary method of slices. Now only remaining is now the weight component W, the shear force in the form of a shear strength, that is TR, and the normal force, that is NR. Normal force NR. So here we can write, suppose if you write, so the NA is equals to NR. So if you take the equilibrium, NA is equals to NR, so can be written as W. If you resolve the forces of W, so NA is nothing but W sin alpha or cos alpha?
Cos alpha.
W cos alpha. So NA is W cos alpha or NR. So both the same. Now, so as we know, so we normally talk about the shear strength of a soil. So shear strength of a soil. So this can be written as, so C dash plus sigma dash tan pi dash. So this is the shear strength that's supposed to be offered at the bottom all along the length of the trial slip circle. Okay, but yeah.
So NR should be negative now because it is opposite direction to NA.
No, they are opposite, equal and opposite. How they are negative? They are equal and opposite.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now suppose if W is the driving force, so the shear strength develops all along the failure slip circle, or in this case it is all along the length BC. So now this is the shear strength of the soil, while this can be represented in the form of a TR. So how do you define the TR? So TR can be defined as, so tau D multiplied by L. Is it true? Or the shear strength is nothing but, so TR divided by the area. So the other way around of understanding this one is, tau D is nothing but TR divided by area. So this is TR divided by L into 1, or simply this can be written as TR divided by L. So if anybody not able to understand. Okay, so now here, so this is a small mistake we have committed in the previous class. So just try to rectify. So now tau D can be written as, tau D is the shear strength. But when we try to determine the stability, we try to determine in the form of the factor of safety. So the tau D can be written in some other form as tau F divided by the factor of safety multiplied by N. So I'm just attaching the factor of safety term. So this can be written as, so L divided by the factor of safety into C dash plus, so sigma dash tan pi dash. So L by Fs into C dash plus sigma dash tan pi dash. Okay, so this is how normal force and shear force are determined. Now, so let us go to another fundamentals of the slope stability theory. So in all the mass procedures, we have taken the equilibrium equations in the form of a moment about the center of the circle is 0. So summation of all the moments about the center is 0. So summation of all the moments about the center is 0. Now, if we assume this one, now let us try here. So here NR and NA both equal and opposite, and approximately they will pass through the circle. Only remaining force is your TR and TA. So TR and TA. So based on this concept, if you take summation of all the moments about the O, so it can be written as, so TR into R is equals to, so TA into R. So TR into R is equals to TA into A. So on one side there is a shear strength term, on the other side there is a shear stress term. So suppose if you want for all the number of slices, so this can be written as, so sigma TR into R is equals to sigma TA into R. So this accounts for the weight or the shear strength or the shear stress offered by each and every element. Each and every element. So now the TR is nothing but this one. So the TR is nothing but, so summation we will take it later. So this can be written as L by Fs into, so C dash plus sigma dash, so tan pi dash multiplied by, how do you write the TA? So what is the driving force or the shear stress acting? So what is the magnitude of the
W sin alpha.
W sin alpha. So W sin alpha. Okay, so this is simple equation. Now here the unknown is sigma. So you can determine the sigma. So your sigma is nothing but NA divided by area. NA divided by area. So your NA is nothing but, so W cos alpha divided by L into 1. So this can be W cos alpha by 1. Okay, so now I know the W, so I know this term. The only thing that need to be done is, my aim is to determine the factor of safety. So just try to rearrange the equation. Yeah.
So minus UL.
That part I will come to. No problem. Okay, so this is without considering the pore water pressure. I am simply taking, so only the dry scope. So if you take sigma dash is equals to sigma minus u, so that is also most welcome. Sigma dash is equal to sigma minus u. So you can substitute directly. Okay, so just substitute all these things and rearrange the terminology and ultimately bring out the factor of safety. So can anybody tell the final form of the equation? Fs. So your Fs is nothing but summation of C dash into L. So C dash into L plus your sigma is W cos alpha by L. So if you multiply L and L, so this will become simply W cos alpha minus U is equals to U into L. So U into L multiplied by tan pi dash divided by summation of W sin alpha. So W sin alpha. So this is the final form of equation. So to determine the factor of safety by ordinary method of slices. So in fact almost we have done correct in the last class, but we messed up somewhere. So instead of multiplying the L, we have divided the L. So please correct that mistake. Okay, so up to this part is ordinary method of the slices. Now this was further extended by, so Bishop. So Bishop's method of slices. So just up to this part, the derivation is remains same. So this is same up to this part in Bishop's method, but additionally in the Bishop's method, is accounted for the normal and tangential force. Bishop has accounted for. So T1, T2, the T1, T2 and P1, P2. So T1, T2, P1 and P2. So that is side forces on each slice. So these are the side forces on each slice. He has additionally considered these side forces. Now when you consider the P1, P2, T1 and T2, so this equation will not remain same in this form. So it will be modified. It will be modified. Now when you consider P1, P2, T1 and T2, so in order to arrive at the factor of safety equation, you also need to consider one more equilibrium equation in addition to the summation of all the moments about O. Okay, so here sometimes in some books you can also see that this can be written as delta T is equals to T1 minus T2 and delta P is equals to so P1 minus P2. While this delta T and delta P could be positive or negative, so we do not know depending upon the interaction. So from where you are starting. Okay, so for the time being we are taking both delta P and delta T as a positive values. Delta P and delta T as positive values. Okay, now the another equilibrium equation that Bishop has considered in order to account for delta T and delta P is summation of all the vertical forces. So sigma Fv is equals to 0. So consider the vertical forces and try to resolve on in vertical forces. So the vertical component of TR, vertical component of NR, vertical component of TA, NA, T1, T2 and so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Okay. So just try to draw the equilibrium equation. Summation of all the forces in the vertical direction. So just for simplicity, I am writing the summation. So W plus delta T. So I am directly taking the direction of W only because T1, W and T2 all three are in vertical direction. So simply if I resolve TR and NR, so my purpose is solved. So instead of taking all the components, so it's very simple as two dominant forces W and T are in the vertical direction. So take the vertical component of TR and NR. So W plus delta T is equals to, so TR sine alpha, so TR sine alpha plus NR cos alpha, plus NR cos alpha. Okay, so this is the equilibrium equation. So by resolving the forces in the vertical direction. While here, so from this equation, so it is the as per the Bishop, he has tried to rearrange the terms such that he tried to correlate all the terms in terms of the NR. So now TR also can be written in terms of the NR. So first let us try to understand. So your TR is equals to TR in terms of NR can be written as so C dash into L by C dash into L by Fs plus so this is can we write, suppose if we multiply sigma dash with L, so no, yeah, so that can be written as NR. So NR into so tan pi dash divided by Fs. So Tr, the same equation, instead of the sigma, I have written in the form of a Nr. I have written in the form of Nr. So substitute this Nr here and solve for Nr. Solve for Nr, the same equation. Simplify the same equation. So for Nr. So the final form of that one is, so W plus delta T. So yeah, this will become minus. So Tr means C dash into L. So this is sine alpha into C dash into L by Fs plus, so Nr into Nr, sorry. So after simplification, I am simply writing the final form of the equation, minus C dash into L divided by Fs into sine alpha, so divided by, so cos alpha, plus, so tan pi dash into sine alpha divided by Fs. So divided by Fs. So now we have used one equilibrium equation. So now we can use another equilibrium equation, that is summation of all the moments about the center is 0. So that is sigma MO is 0, summation of all the moments. So in that case also again same form of the equation. If you take summation of all the moments about O, then what we get is, so W sine alpha into R, so multiplied by, so TR into R. So same thing. So TR multiplied by R and TA multiplied by R. So your TA is nothing but, so your TA is nothing but W sine alpha. So again here, but TR is nothing but, so L by Fs, R L by Fs into C dash plus sigma dash tan pi dash. So tan pi dash. Or this can be written in the form of Nr as, so 1 by Fs into, so C dash into L plus Nr into tan pi dash. Okay, so just try to rearrange. So W, so sine alpha, so R will get cancelled out. W sine alpha is equals to 1 divided by Fs into, so C dash L plus Nr into, so tan pi dash, while Nr is nothing but, so derived here. So substitute this Nr here. So then try to rearrange all the terms in terms of the Fs. But in this case, when you try to rearrange the terms, you will notice that the factor of safety will come on both sides, right side as well as left side of the equation. Right side as well as left side of the equation. So I will give the final form of equation. So the equation for Fs is as per the Bishop. So here we can write summation of all the elements. So summation of so C dash summation of C dash plus W. Then they have further they made a small further assumption that I will explain. So C dash into B plus so W tan pi dash plus delta T tan pi dash multiplied by 1 divided by m alpha n. So m alpha n divided by summation of so W sin alpha. Where so the m alpha n. So m alpha n is nothing but so cos alpha n plus so tan pi dash into sin alpha divided by Fs. Okay, so we should try the derivation of or the simplification of all these things at leisure time. So you can do it, there is no problem. But this is what is the final derivation of the ordinary method of the slices as well as so the Bishop's method of the slices. Okay, here also again, suppose if you want to include the pore water pressure component, so you can do so. So that is based on the concept of your so sigma dash is equals to sigma minus u. So sigma minus u. So in that case, so the NR term will become NR minus u. So suppose if you include the pore water pressure, so this will become your NR minus u multiplied by tan pi. If you take the pore water pressure component into the picture. Okay. So now here, suppose if you ask to solve any problem by manually, so it takes tremendous amount of a time. So it is better, that's why all method of the slices or the Bishop's method will be solved preferably by the analytical softwares. That is a quick. Okay. Now here, if you look at the equation, the cohesion term is there, the friction term is there, the weight is there. So the weight again we can consider, that is weight of the each slice can be written as gamma into B into H. Where B is the horizontal width of element. And H is the height or the average height of the slice. So gamma multiplied by the area. So B into H. So W. So you can also replace your W with gamma B into H in this equation. So you can do so. Okay. Now another unknown is delta T. So delta T initially will be assumed based on the location of the slice. Okay. So initially some value may be 0 or may not be some definite value. Then keep solving. So suppose if you look at this equation carefully, the factor of safety exists on the left side as well as on the right side. So therefore, so you have to compute or you have to assume the delta t of element, or the other things are initial factor of safety value such that the Fs on the right side will be equal to the Fs on the left side. So this is the principle that normally followed. So now you can understand how complicated it is to manually calculate the factor of safety value. So when the same term exists on both sides of the equation, so you need to make a lot of iterations. Okay, so any questions? Anybody has any question? So fortunate thing is that, so none of you need to remember any of these equations. You need to understand how this equation has been derived, or the fundamental concepts behind derivation of all these equations. So that when you try to implicate these equations for the field cases, you should aware what equation is right or what equation is applicable to determine the valid factor of safety value. Because if you recall, so over the last 4 to 5 classes, so we were discussing about the derivation of factor of safety equations considering the several procedures. So we have considered the friction circle method, the pi is equals to 0 analysis, or C-pi method, or the finite slopes, infinite slopes, so on and so forth. Okay, but this is only the horizon of the method of the slices. Behind that, so several people did work and proposed several methods based on the method of the slices to determine the factor of safety. So the fundamental attempts were made to refine in the calculation of P1, P2 and T1, T2. So P1, P2 and T1, T2. So here the ultimate, in between all the several people put a lot of efforts, but the Morgenstern and Price. So they have proposed the most complex equation, so relating or accurately determining P1, T1 and P2, P2. Okay, that's why. So suppose if you look at any book or any analysis, so they usually say earlier. So earlier, before the development of this method, so people used to widely use only Bishop's method. So Bishop has proposed this equation in the year 1955, while it has undergone several modifications. While in the year 1965, Morgenstern and Price, so they have finally come up with the more reliable form of determining the side forces, tangential forces, as well as the normal force. So Morgenstern also proposed another equation with a Bishop. So there is another equation called as a Bishop and Morgenstern. So Bishop.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in the Bishop formula, if we put delta t equal to 0 to make it ordinary method of slices, so
Yeah.
it should become factor of safety as ordinary method of slices, na sir?
Exactly. So if you put delta t is equal to 0, so this directly takes 0 ordinary method of the slices. There is no doubt in it.
But sir, it is not coming, sir.
That's not coming. Oh, that will not come because, so in the ordinary method of the slices, there is a one equilibrium equation. Summation of all the moments about the center is 0. While in the Bishop's method, we have two equilibrium equations. So summation of the forces in the vertical direction is 0 and moments about the center is 0. So because of that additional equilibrium equation, you will not get. So rather you will get some higher value or the better factor of safety value.
Sir, I think it should be C dash L, not B, sir.
Uh, just check it once because it should be C dash L only. Okay. So this is the final form of it. Yeah, C dash L only. Okay. Yeah. So any other question? Good. Thank you.
Sir, do you have to remember only formula, na, sir, not derivation?
No, that's what I told you now. You don't need to remember anything. See how to understand the fundamental concepts involved in derivation of all these equations. So that once you pass out from this institute, so once you become a geotechnical engineer, then you should aware. So based on all these fundamentals, because say I can directly say this is the equation of Bishop's method. But once you pass out, so you will not be having any kind of knowledge on whether this application, this equation is valid for a certain slope or not. See, just take any example. For example, a slope is subjected to both static and dynamic forces. Or you take some other conditions. It's like, for example, a drawdown condition. You take the drawdown condition. So in these equations anywhere so far, did we discuss about how to calculate the factor of safety when a slope is subjected to the sudden drawdown condition? No. Okay. Similarly, when the slope is under fully submerged condition, so can we able to use these equations? If yes, what terms should be changed? And if the slope is subjected to a steady state seepage, then how to use these equations? Or if there is a continuous rainfall on the slope and there is an infiltration of the rainfall, so then how to modify these equations or how to use these equations? So that kind of confidence will come when you try to understand the derivation behind all these equations. Okay, that's where you will understand how to embed different external parameters into this equation. So the fundamental equations will not change. Suppose say I want to embed the climatic effects on the factor of safety value, or I want to embed the dynamics, that is the earthquake motion, the acceleration in the horizontal direction and acceleration in the vertical direction into these equations. So you should be able to understand where to add all those horizontal and vertical components of the acceleration. So when you resolve the forces. Okay, that understanding will not come if I simply directly give the equation of the factor of safety. You won't understand anything. Good. Okay. So any other question? Yashwant, are you able to understand?
Sir,
No question.
no questions.
Dinesh, Munir, Pranavananda,
No, sir.
okay, Benazira,
No, sir.
Subhosit,
No, sir.
very Savi,
No, sir.
so can I understand that you are able to understand, or can I understand that you didn't understand anything?
Understood.
Okay. Very good. Okay, very good. So now here, one important thing that we also need to discuss is, so when there is a steady state seepage, so there is a steady state seepage. So this is steady state seepage. So this is also called as a phreatic line. So this is called as a phreatic line. Now suppose if I put a manometer at this location, so in this manometer, so up to what height the water level rises? Up to what height the water level rises?
The atmospheric pressure.
Up to this line, up to the phreatic surface. Okay. So up to phreatic surface, the water level rises. So I can say, so this as some kind of HW. HW. So the height of water in the manometer. Now suppose if I ask the U value, so what would be the U value? The pore pressure. Gamma W into HW. So gamma W into HW. Okay. So this is for a single slice. So if you want the entire, so you can also multiply this with the elemental limit. If you want a total pore pressure parameter, then you multiply this with the L. So then what you get is capital U. So capital U is equal to small u into L. Small u into L. But often, so suppose if you look at the any embankment, so it is always the compacted soil. And if you take any depth, there is some kind of the overburden pressure. Also. So that overburden pressure is, say, suppose for example at this location, so it can be written as gamma times of Z. So I'm writing gamma times of your H. So just to avoid confusion, I am just taking another term, that is gamma times of Z. So that means whenever you talk about the pore pressure parameter, so this also gets influenced by the respective overburden. Why? Let us look at all these slices. Is the overburden is remain same for different slices? No, it is not. Okay. So in order to normalize the effect of the pore pressure, a new parameter has been introduced, that is called as RU, the pore pressure coefficient, which is defined as U divided by sigma. So that can be written as gamma W into HW divided by gamma into Z. Pore pressure coefficient. Usually the value of the pore pressure coefficient varies from 0 to 0.5, if I remember. But just check it. Okay, just check it. So normally when you do any slope stability analysis considering the seepage condition or the steady state seepage, so the another parameter that can be used instead of the UW, that is pore pressure, is pore pressure coefficient, that is in the form of a RU. So this RU is predominantly used even in case of the railway. But when you do the any stability analysis of the railway embankment, so the factor of safety is usually written in the form of two things: M minus N into RU. So this is one of the equation so proposed by the RDSO to determine the factor of safety of the embankment, railway embankment especially. While M and N are related to the your stability number, so on and so forth. So anyhow, I will discuss about this M and N in the next, maybe tomorrow's class. Okay, but this is simple equation. Now if you look at this equation, this inherently considers the impact of the pore pressure coefficient or the effect of the steady state seepage. Okay, so now suppose if you look at in this equation, so we use U term, so that U can be replaced with now RU. So if you rearrange the terms, so your RU is equals to U divided by the sigma. So U can be written as, R U multiplied by sigma, So you can directly substitute in this term U as RU multiplied by sigma, So if you look some, or if you refer to some of the textbooks, so the same factor of safety equation will be written in the form of RU, So in the form of RU or 1 minus RU. 1 minus RU. Or the same equation can be written as the Fs is equals to M minus N into RU. M minus N into, where M is the summation of all these terms, N is the simplification of the other terms. Okay, so this is how the effect of the pore pressure component under steady state seepage condition will be accounted for in the factor of safety equation. Okay, so there are other cases also, so like drawdown, or so these equations were further modified by after Bishop and Morgenstern, then other persons like Spencer. You might have seen the analysis by the Spencer, then Morgenstern and Price, then Michalowiecki, or Spencer and the Morgenstern. There are several methods: Sharma's method, ambush method, so on and so forth. There are more than a dozen methods are there. Okay, but so all of these methods, so in order to accurately determine the P1, P2, T1, T2, either they have considered the summation of the vertical forces as well as summation of the horizontal forces also. For example, if you look at the Bishop's method, he has considered out of the three equilibrium equations, sigma m is equals to 0, sigma v is equals to 0, sigma h is equals to 0, he has considered only two equilibrium equations. So summation of all the forces in vertical direction is 0 and moment about the center of the circle is 0. But some people already also try to use all the three equilibrium equations. So moment about the center of the circle is 0. Then they also try to take summation of the horizontal forces as well as the summation of the vertical forces and further simplify to better determine delta P and delta T. Okay. Now one such analysis was done by the Morgenstern and Price. So if you look at his method, the Morgenstern and Price, if I remember, so he has considered all three equilibrium equations. Summation of all the moments about the center, sigma h is equals to 0, sigma v is equals to 0, and he also made some assumption. Okay, so thereby he has derived one complex equation to determine the factor of safety. So there is some more things also, like let me discuss here. So, so far, whatever the discussion we made, so the inherent assumption is that the slip circle is circular. Your slip circle is circular. But is it the circular failure is always possible? So the answer is may not be. Okay. So this limitation again overcome by your Morgenstern and Price. So as per their analysis, so you can consider any kind of a slip circle that may be a circular, may not be a circular. Okay, as per Morgenstern and Price, so it considers both circular and non-circular. Circular and non-circular failure plane. non-circular failure. Okay, you can do the analysis for both the cases, whether the slopes will be perfect circular or maybe non-circular, or sometimes it could be something else. Say for example, non-plane, what you call non-planar. See, this is a perfect circular, or sometimes it may be a non-circular. So this is non-circular and this is circular. So sometimes it could be something like this. Okay, so this is non-planar. So non-planar. So all these cases can be considered if we go for the Morgenstern and Price method. Of course, the other methods also which also consider circular, non-circular and non-planar failure surfaces. But I could remember only this method, so I may be excused. Okay, but this is the advantage of the Morgenstern and Price method. So now you understood now. Say in case of the Bishop's method, so we did not make any such kind of an assumption where that the failure plane is not non-circular. No, the assumption is that the failure plane is circular. The failure plane is circular. And more than that, if you take any slice of a slip circle, any simple slice, the bottommost width of the slice, it's supposed to be arc, but the inherent assumption is that it is assumed as a linear. So it is assumed as a linear. So that is possible. So when you consider this non-circular failure. Okay, so that limitation also overcome. So in a few more other methods. Maybe I will discuss about whatever the missed points are that I could not able to explain in the PPT tomorrow. Okay, so anybody has any question? So otherwise I will stop it here for today.